Hey, my lovelies. Welcome to my podcast and welcome to my video. If you are tuning in via Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, I want to just thank you guys for taking the time out to check in and tune in to the daily vibration. Okay, so it is Tuesday. You guys know Tuesday is ruled by Mars. If you do not know that, now you know that, right? If you have been following me for a while, you pretty much should know what planets is ruling what day by now, right? So today is March 16th, 2021, and it does not matter when you click on this video, right? So if you can click on this video a month later and the title and the message resonates with you, you take what you need and you leave what you do not. Energy is fluid, okay? So when you click on this video, you may just be in that particular energetic pattern, personally in your chart, personally in your life, personally in your headspace. So I want you to keep that in mind, all right? The next thing I want you to keep in mind is that you are not just responsible for mastering your sun sign, aka the month that you were born, but you're actually responsible for mastering all 12 aspects of the zodiac wheel, because all 12 aspects represent aspects of you, right? So if you master those aspects of you, you can rise above all of this shit and transcend, right? And that is the whole goal, to transcend, okay? And how are you transcending? You are transcending through love. So you're going to have to master those chakras, especially balancing your heart chakra. So this is all about the love walk and the love journey, okay? So if you got some resentment going on, if you got some anger going on, if you got some hatred going on, if you got some aggressive energy going on and you can't quite figure out where it's coming from today, you definitely want to check in and make sure that you are looking at your heart chakra, okay? We got double fives popping up in the energy today. So heart chakra is about forgiveness. It's about trust, right? It's about love. It's about honoring yourself and feeling things, not just avoiding the feeling of things, but feeling things, okay? And you can find relationships that are also mixed up in the heart chakra, especially family dynamics can always play a tremendous role in the healing and the maintaining of a balanced heart chakra, okay? Not to mention, y'all, your heart chakra is responsible for you manifesting in this third dimensional realm. So even if you can sit and use your imagination and build and create things in your imagination, that's beautiful, but you don't allow yourself permission to experience those things, right? They're just going to be that in your imagination. They may not necessarily play out in your physical experience. So this is why it's important for you to master your emotions, all right? I was having a conversation yesterday with someone, just a beautiful spirit, and we were talking about that aspect of identifying things and then asking yourself the question, why? Right? So why am I angry? Why am I frustrated? What's the lesson here? Why is this being repeated? Why did that frustrate me? Wow. You'll be surprised to find out how powerful the word why can be in you uncovering some of the deepest things that dwells within you, okay? Now, it's like you have to be like a child. And you know how children always ask, but why? But why? But why? But why? But why? You have to get in that same mode with yourself, okay? Why? All right? So let's just talk about a few things today as we're looking at the date, okay? Now, I want to emphasize today that there's a few things going on today within the date, okay? So first of all, today, just vibrating, you have all planes operating. You got the mental plane, you got the soul plane, and you got the physical plane, right? And you guys hear me talk about these numbers all of the time, and I know I really don't get into a whole lot of why these planes operate the way they do, or maybe how they operate the way they do, right? So we're going to take a look at that today within the daily vibration, right? So when I pulled cards earlier, you had 3 messages that came out. You had prayer, and I don't know how so much I feel about this word, because I just kind of feel like every time I see this word, like I see the word pray, P-R-E-Y, when I see this, right? Because this just puts me in a mind frame like I have to keep asking and begging for something when you shouldn't, like when you begin your spiritual walk and you get to a level where you understand that everything is cause and effect, you understand that you don't really have to pray anymore. Yeah, you are a creator and a destroyer, which means that you can create things and you can destroy things, which means that you can simply say, this is what it is, right? You got to ask permission. You can literally use your vibration, your throat chakra energy to cast your spells and say, speak into existence. Not ask for permission for it to come into existence, but you can be the person, right? You can be the force that speaks things into existence, right? So now that we're talking about that, let's talk about the number 3. The number 3 is vibrating on the mental plane today. You can find the number 3 in the date for the 3rd month. Right now, just so you know, although it is the 3rd month, March vibrates in the number 7, and we'll get into that in a second, right? Because number 7 is also connected to your chakras. Okay, so number 3 is vibrating on the mental plane today. And when I talk about the mental plane, I'm talking about the conscious self, right? I'm talking about the part of you that understands that there is a logical part of you and a intuitive part of you, masculine, feminine. You understand that there's something else outside just the exterior portion, okay? So now, your mental plane is where your conscious self begins to tap into memory. It begins to tap in also to the thinking aspect of self, the analytical aspect of self. This is the rationalizing that you would do, right? Imagination is very key also on this mental plane, all right? So you're going to hear me talking about imagination a lot as we move throughout these videos, right? Because your imagination is very important for you to be able to activate things, right? But your feeling is how you're going to be able to press those things out. So your imagination, I want to say, is very useful, especially in the portion of death. Okay, so creating things now in your imagination now can definitely help you when you're no longer in this body. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind also. So the mental plane rules that energy where your imagination dwells. It also rules creative energy. But also responsibility dwells within the mental plane. So I want you to take note of that too. You do have ambition and idealism popping off also in the mental plane, right? So we have the number 3 today that's vibrating on the mental plane. So whether you're tapping into your memory, whether you're beginning to embrace different aspects of your imagination, whether you're thinking things through, whether you're rationalizing things or over rationalizing things, whether you're creating things or whether you're taking responsibility for things or whether you're tapping into your ambition, you're tapping into mental plane activity. And that is what's happening for the month of March as we are vibrating within the 3rd month of the Gregorian calendar. But keeping in mind that March vibrates on the number 7, right? When you do the gematria for it, and I'm not talking about the Hebrew gematria, I'm talking about the English version, right? So when we go into that, that's vibrating on the number 7. We know the number 7 is in it. That's your powers, right? That's your 7 power centers, your 7 chakras, okay? So keep that in mind. You got mental energy dominating the month, right? And we just went through what that was, right? We have vibrating on the day, right? You actually have a combination of 2 numbers. So I'm gonna break it down for you. You have a combination of the mental number, which is in the number 6, and you got a combination of the physical plane, which is in the number 1. But when you add those 2 numbers together, you also got the number 7, right? So number 7 and number 1, they vibrate on what you would call the physical plane, right? Or the doing plane, right? So in the doing plane, this is where your verbal expression really comes into play, okay? On the doing plane, this is where you tap into your motivation, what motivates you. On the doing plane, this is accessing body language. This is organizing things, okay? This is you being able to tap into your patience because there is a process to things unfolding, right? So there's steps to things. So this is where you tap into patience, right? This is where the material aspect of things dwells, is on the physical plane, right? And we're also talking about here learning through sacrifice and experience, okay? So you have that number popping off today within the date, the 16th, right? The number 1. You have that popping off there, and you also have the number 1 in the year 2021 too, vibrating on that physical plane, okay? So you got choices today in how you're going to move. Now, vibrating on the soul plane today, and the soul plane is responsible for things like your intuition, love, right? I just told you about your throat chakra, and I just told you about love and really what this is all about, right? So we're talking about love. We're talking about your freedom to truly be who you are, the essence of who you are, right? We're talking about tapping into your artistic nature, right? However you feel the need to express yourself in this plane, okay? We're also talking about you being able to tap into your spiritual independence and your spiritual wisdom, divine, unfiltered, limitless wisdom, okay? So each one of these aspects or each one of these planes holds different aspects of self, right? So each one of these numbers dwells within a particular plane and carries off a particular vibration or a particular frequency. So today you got number 1 talking about creative energy, creating your own reality. We just went over what the physical realm means, right? Creating your own reality. You're tapping into that motivational aspect maybe of the number 1 that you may need to utilize today, okay? Number 1 also vibrates on you tapping into your willpower, okay? Sometimes it's not about how you feel. Sometimes it's pushing past how you feel to getting things done. For some of you, this can also be where you would need to either embrace authority or having to deal with some type of authority figure, okay? You're gonna have to play that out how it fits, right? Okay, but keeping in mind that it's okay for you to stand. I want to say also today in your own uniqueness, okay? Especially vibrating with the double 1 energy. Stand in your own uniqueness today and avoid negative people, okay? Is what you want to do if you're going to be utilizing the energy from the number 1 today. Number 3 is the gateway to the mental plane. We just went through what the mental plane was, right? So this is really where you can begin to activate your memory, okay? Now it's important here for you to utilize your imagination when you're tapping into the number 3, okay? You can also begin to tap into your psychic ability because there is that feminine masculine energy which then creates matter, okay? So this is where you begin to understand that you got an ego, you got a spirit, and if you put them together, that ego can help you get things done in the physical world, and spirit can help you tap into things on the soul level, okay? So number 3 is where you begin to remember, okay? Where you begin to remember that you can utilize your imagination to create your own reality. You can literally tap in to a deeper level of self. So some of you can see that your psychic ability, your clairvoyance, your inner knowing, the inner feeling, the inner vision is just on point today. Not to mention that we have high sensitive energy with double 2s for the whole year, okay? Now, so just keep that in mind, all right? Now, number 2 is also in the date, and that's going to be for the whole year. Tapping into your intuition. This is a gateway to your intuition, right? Number 2 falls on the soul plane. That's love. That's positive energy. That's the freedom to be who you are, utilizing your wisdom and your spiritual independence, right? So number 2 today, for some of you, you may have to meditate or pay attention to what you're meditating to, whether it's something negative or it's something positive. Be mindful of that. Dance or tap into your own rhythm today within the number 2 vibration too. Service and duty could be key for some of you. So the question is, what are you servicing, or whom is servicing you, and what duties are you fulfilling that really may need to be adjusted, or you may really need to step up to the plate today, is what you may want to take a look at, okay? Now, number 5 is always going to be in the vibration for the rest of the year, so you want to be open-minded within the number 5 today, because that's just about change. Number 7 is popping out throughout the energy here, but this is really just you focusing on who you are, right? You want to check into yourself before responding. Okay, know thyself today is really going to be the message. Okay, number 6 is also vibrating within the date today, and you want to tap into that mental aspect of self. So this is where you begin to understand within the number 6 that you have creative and destructive energy. So how are you using your energy today? Right? What are you giving your energy and attention to today? What are you serving to today? What are you giving your energy and attention to today? You're going to have to think about that. You have some choices today. Mars is also ruling Tuesday. Okay, so we're talking about competition energy. The need to survive energy is also in the atmosphere. Being strong is also in the atmosphere today. Taking action is also in the atmosphere today, right? And some people's sexual drive is going to be in the atmosphere today, right? So the key here is that you get to choose states and figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it in your life, all right? Sun is still in Pisces, and the moon is going to be entering Taurus. So try not to be too stubborn with the moon in Taurus. Try not to be a bully, okay? Try to bring in that stable energy, all right? Okay, my loves, do something kind for yourself. Honor yourself. Love yourself. And I'm going to see you guys in tomorrow's Daily Vibration. Bye, my loves.